Let's take a look at the fields that relates to replenishment system production on the item card. I will go on my item 1000 as an example to the area of replenishment down here. So if it's a production order in the replenishment system, the system will use the fields below here on my production side, meaning my manufacturing policy, etc. Let's run through those. First of all, manufacturing policy could be make to stock or make to order. You have to be aware this has nothing to do with the planning on the planning area further down. This has to do only with the fact if you want to bundle production orders, several production order lines into one production order when you create them, or you want to make them separately to stock production order per production order. In my experience, 99% of our customers use make to stock as manufacturing policy. So I wouldn't get too much into that if I were you. So the routing number is selected from a list of routings that you set up, and it describes the operation and the work centers or machine centers you need to perform the operation for doing this item. So it's a list of steps you need to do. Like in the kitchen, it's your recipe when you're cooking, whereas the production number is, for the kitchen metaphor, is the things you need to use your ingredients. So the production BOM is also selected from a list that you maintain, where you add all the components and the quantity per that you need to add to this item to build it. Rounding precision is used if you want, when you create production orders, to round it when it's planning. Should it round into whole figures or whatever? The flushing method is used when you create a production order if the components you are drawing into the production order should be flushed manually in a consumption journal, or if you want it to be flushed automatically when you plan your production order, meaning forward, or when you finish your production order, meaning backward. So your flushing determines whether to flush components automatically or manually. Overhead rate and scrap percentage is used to calculate the standard cost for the item when you roll up the standard cost, and it has to do if this item, when you produce it, would you normally have extra cost you would like to add to the item directly here. So for instance, an overhead rate of €2 could be depending on cost you have that you don't want to add into your routing, but you want to add it manually here on the production order. And the same with scrap percentage. You can set up here a normal percentage that you scrap when you produce it in the production order, and that will affect the standard cost, making the item more expensive. The lot size is used only for calculating the cost price. So when you determine a lot size of 80 in this example, and you have setup time in your routing, this is used to calculate your standard cost based on the setup time on the routing. And again, on the stock keeping unit card, if you go to the stock keeping unit card and here, and you have locations on that item, you could also change some of the replenishment parameters, but not all of them. So you can change here manufacturing policy, flushing method, components at location, and lot size. And note here there's a new field called component at location. That means if you plan on this specific location on the SKU card, you can draw items in consumption journals automatically from other locations. So when you refresh the production order, it will suggest other locations to draw the components from. So these are the fields you can set up for replenishment system production order.